welcome to the Boopcast. I nearly said the podcast, episode 9. We are your host, SheNoob, and where are you?
Cory.
You're to my left. Not my right, my left. No, left? I don't fucking know.
Hi, I'm Cory.
So, we have a very special guest with us this week. Her name is Hannah Galbraith. For those of you who are not aware, in 2014, a group of... 15?
Sorry, yeah, it was 2015.
Oh,
that's
gosh.
the year I don't remember.
Ah, yeah, that's... right, it's 2017, isn't it? I keep thinking it's 2016 still. In 2015, beg your pardon, there was a group of 4 friends who were doing a road trip across America to go to RTX Austin.
I'm sorry, I keep correcting you. I feel
That's
like
all right.
I feel bad.
I only know the story that I heard, so there were 5 of you, yeah. And,
to be fair, I only know the story I've heard either.
yeah. So there were 5 friends who were taking a road trip to RTX Austin, and unfortunately got in a horrible car accident in which 3 of them perished. And it was, many of you may be aware of it, it was a big tragedy for the Received community. And Hannah here is one of the survivors of the accident. Hannah suffered some head trauma from the accident, and her memory of the incident is severely impaired. And but she's an incredibly strong and brave individual, and she has survived a terrible ordeal. We feel very privileged and honoured to have her on today to chat to us about that and about RWBY Chapter 9 as well. She is a fan of RWBY. She watches the show, so yeah. Welcome, Hannah, and thank you for being here.
No problem.
Now, before we get to the episode, we didn't have any questions, per se, for this week, just because last podcast and this podcast were so close together. We are leaving our Twitters open during the podcast in case we do get last-minute questions, but there were a couple of things in the comments of last podcast that I wanted to address. CatPaws13 mentioned, is anyone else excited for RWBY Chibi Season 2? I think RWBY Chibi's gone in the back of our minds while Volume 4 has been going on, but it did occur to me when I read that comment, like, oh, there's going to be a Chibi Season 2. We should probably talk about that at some stage. So yeah, they did say at the end of Season 1 that they would be coming back this year in the off-season for a Season 2. So I'm excited to see more Chibi because I thoroughly enjoyed it, and it was nice to have that every week while the show wasn't on. Even though it's not canonical, it's still hilarious and very cute. Something I wanted to ask you both about Chibi Season 2 is, do you think it will still be set at Beacon, or do you think it will be more of the Volume 4 setting?
It might be a little bit more Volume 4, I think.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I talk so much, but I think it would also be kind of interesting to see, like, some of the newer characters. It would be interesting to see, like, just... Tyrion's crazy. I think it would be interesting to see him as a chibi.
Yeah. Oh my god, chibi Tyrion. That would be hilarious. What do you think, Cory?
Well, I mean, Season 1 was, in a way, kind of... I mean, it was kind of like Volume 1, but then it also had a lot of Volume 2 characters like Neo and Mercury and those guys. But, like... I think it might still be a Beacon, but it'll just, like, introduce more, maybe be more around tournament time, kind of. And so, like, introduce us to the rest of Team Sun.
Yeah.
Funky will get involved.
Maybe, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. They could go a lot of different ways with it, but I think it will, for now, our focus is very much on Volume 4, but, I don't know if we'll do podcasts during the off-season to talk about Chibi or not. That's a decision we'll have to make in the future, I think. But leave comments down below if that's something you'd like to see, podcasts about Chibi, maybe like every couple of months or something. And then Hyrulean Pichu also talked about, have you ever thought about putting this podcast on Apple Podcasts or Google Play Music? I wanted to address this because a couple of people have, said, why don't you put this on blah, 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 blah. It's not as simple as all that. There is a process involved with having your podcast put onto an audio platform like that. There are rules and there is some monetary elements involved as well. So as much as it would be cool, also I don't think we really have the audience to justify putting it on another platform. Sorry, that's just my phone. Yeah, but for now, it's just going to stay on YouTube as a pre-recorded podcast. Next volume, we would like to live stream at least, either on YouTube or on Twitch, depending on what people are looking at. Sorry, I'm just getting text messages from people. Yeah, so, unfortunately, yeah, it's not a possibility at this time, but possibly in the future. So, yeah, we can get on with the episode now, I think. Lots to talk about in this chapter. Unless, Hannah, you had a couple other things you wanted to talk about before we get into all of that.
I think you basically covered it with the head trauma thing,
Yep.
like about specifically what that was, and I just wanted to say, yeah, I think the term that I think my doctor said is like it's called traumatic brain injury, and I think the simile they use is like the adult. What happened to me was like the adult equivalent of a shaken baby.
Yes.
And I think I'll just leave it at that.
Sorry about that. Had a little bit of technical difficulty. My computer is not liking the heat, I suppose. But we did just get a question on Twitter from Straight Outta Remnant, of course, who asked, between both I Burn and Caffeine, the rap verses, which do you like the most, I Burn or Caffeine? That's tough.
I'm stealing your question. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's for all of us to answer.
To actually know the rap for Caffeine. I used to be able to do it. I think it's just like if I looked at the lyrics right now, I think it was like, yo, listen up. I think it was like, I hope you like it hot. Grab yourself a mug because I made a fresh pot. Come get a dose of this kick-ass Java.
Fueling your addiction with this thick black lava. Yeah.
Do a pan espresso or the cappuccino way. Sure to get your fix, Venti Grande, Sugar, Splenda, equal maybe sweet and low.
Everybody's happy when the hang of a Joe. Let's go.
I did it so poorly right there. I promise you I wasn't looking it up.
No, yeah. I Burn. Gosh, it's been so long. Like, how does that even go? Hotter than sun, feel my fire, pyromaniac, my desire.
Thought that you could see the truth.
Thought that you could see the truth till I just went down the roof.
Human Torch can't fuck with me.
Human Torch can't fuck with me. Johnny Blaze.
Suspect B.
Suspect
mess
B.
with me now.
It's like
I can't even remember.
Yeah, it was so long ago.
Down to ash, gasoline, kerosene.
Strike a match, ignite the scene.
I can't remember.
Shit will never be the same. Feel the fury of my flame.
Yeah.
Beg for mercy, it won't help. Embrace the ending you were dealt. Seems you fucks will never learn. Now sit back and watch me burn.
Yeah, I think I Burn. I think I Burn is my favorite of the two.
Yeah. Although they had to re-release the version of that song because it wasn't allowed to have swear words.
Yeah, Jeff didn't realize that he couldn't put cursing in the music. So they told him off and made him redo it. But that's alright. I think a lot of youngins do watch RWBY. I think less young people these days, but right at Volume 1 there were a lot of kids watching, so it's probably not the most appropriate thing in the world.
No, I will admit, I can't remember, I think it was like episode 8 or something, or maybe episode 7. It was just like, I think Tyrion said bitch, and I was scandalized.
I mean,
pardon my language there.
I thought, you can swear on this podcast, we don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Tyrion, saying you bitch was appropriate to the moment. He did just get his tail cut off, so I thought it was fine, but, kids hear those kinds of words all the time, it doesn't matter. And the show is getting more mature as it goes on as well. Apologies for that. I just had to restart my computer a few times because everything was crashing on me. There may be a few edits in this podcast. Hopefully it doesn't do it again, but you never know. What the fuck were we talking about?
I don't even remember.
I don't even remember. What were we talking about?
Questions. But then there weren't really going to be any more questions, and then maybe we were going to start talking about this episode.
Right.
We were talking, I guess we never actually answered the question, though. Which one did we like better, caffeine or I burn?
I burn was mine.
I burn, yeah.
And I was caffeine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
There. Question is now answered.
I was drinking coffee earlier, so it should make sense.
Oh, man. My bloody computer. I don't know what's wrong with it. The video card's going on me. The sound card's going on me. I have to get it upgraded. And generally taken out of this tiny box and put in a bigger one because it doesn't breathe very well. So yeah, chapter 9. Let's get into that, shall we? Oh my gosh, there was so much going on in this chapter. Who did we start with? Yang, of course. Yang! She has one too many arms. Oh wait, not anymore.
I know.
Paint that arm in silver.
Well, when I actually got my Yang figurine as part of my Ruby Secret Santa, I just asked my dad because I didn't know if it was actually from him or if it was from my Secret Santa. He said no, it wasn't from my parents. But then he asked how many arms Yang had, and I was just like, it took me a second. Then I was like, are you surprised I asked that? And I was just like, you're the double gold member, so no, not really.
I usually have mine in the background of the piano. That's what I was going to say. I should address the fact that my background is different. So I've had to temporarily move locations in the house because we're having a heat wave and it's horrendously hot in the office and I can't function with the computer running. So, and the computer doesn't handle it at all. So, yeah, I've moved into the lounge room where the air conditioner is that I'm now going to turn back on. And, yeah, that's why I've got a different background, but... yeah, so the Yang bit at the beginning of the episode. So, finally more Yang. We've been waiting forever to see more Yang. And this was a really good scene. I don't even remember how it started. Oh, Zwei was in it! That was my... biggest, happy moment the whole volume. I'm like, he's Zwei! And he's so fat and cute. And he got fluffier as well. And he has a cute collar on, which I love. Yeah, so... Oh my gosh, I don't even
I have
really...
a lot of feels about Yang's part.
Yeah, Yang's part was really good. So she seems to be doing a lot better and has adjusted to her new... appendage. She said they've been at that for a few weeks, so a little bit of time has passed since we saw her last. Yeah, so she seems to be doing exceptionally well, and still fighting as well as she ever did. Probably looking in even better form than she did before. And she has a bit of a heart-to-heart with Tai Yang, and Tai Yang basically says everything that the audience has been thinking since the end of Volume 3, which I like.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, so I know normally I would identify with Weiss, but I think in this episode I kind of identify with Yang because Yang has been through a lot and she has to deal with her sort of PTSD thing.
Yeah.
And she's starting to accept what has become of her, and it took me way too damn long to actually accept what had happened to me. And so I'm at a point where I'm finally starting to come to terms with the fact that my memory is gone and the fact that my brain doesn't work the same anymore. And the fact, and also something is that Tai Yang said that she always has been just thinking that strength is the most important thing, and she has always tried to go through problems but doesn't really necessarily realize that there's ways around problems.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like me, because after I went through 8 years of bullying, and so I was used to there not being ways around problems. So I think my now current mindset is I have to be strong so I can actually just get through them. And my parents have been trying to tell me that there are ways around these problems. You can just go around them. And I didn't necessarily realize and accept that there were ways around these problems, and I thought I had to be strong, so I had to go through them. I mean, I actually took weightlifting so I could actually be a physically stronger person, so I actually could have more confidence in myself to actually be strong. But no, there are ways around them. Whether I realize it or not, whether I completely realize it or not, there are ways, and I just need to accept that.
Yeah, I think we all need a little bit of Tai Yang in our lives at some point or another. There are times, yeah, he's a really great dad. I'm loving the dynamic between him and Yang. It's really, And the fact that he was just basically blurting out everything I was thinking, like, since, you know, all of that happened, I was like, yes, Taiyang, yes, preach! Like, he's like, you know, oh, you rely on your semblance too much, you know, your semblance is basically a temper tantrum, it's not always going to save you, you know, and like, I'm like, yes, 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 all of it. It's so true, though, and like, I'm glad that somebody is finally saying it to her. Because she does rely almost completely on her semblance to win her fights. And like, as we saw, you know, it let her down in a pretty major way, when she went up against Adam. And more so that her temper let her down. And now she's gonna have to kind of adapt to a new way of thinking when she fights, in that she can't just, you know, Hulk out and win everything. It's not always going to work for her. So that was like, that's everything I've been saying and thinking since, you know, Volume 3. Like, he has finally just come out and said it all. And I think it's probably a deliberate sort of thing that Miles and Kerry stuck in there with the writing. So yeah, and they talked a little bit about Raven as well. And he was, you know, he was saying, you know, Raven, she was a great person, but she has her, you know, her flaws, and
I'm happy to see Raven back for personal reasons.
I like Raven as a character, but I just don't like her as a person. That's the only thing. I think she's not a good person at all. We'll get back to Raven at the end of the chapter, but yeah, no, this was a really cute scene, and I loved the Zwei in it as well. Zwei is just too adorable for this universe.
Yeah.
And one thing that really surprised me about Yang in this scene, though, was that how natural her new appendage actually felt. Like, it wasn't like a glaring thing that I always noticed. You know, it was kind of just like, it's, you know, it's just part of her character now. And like, in like other films and TV shows, when they get like a, you know, a robotic appendage, it's always like glaringly the thing that you notice most. But with her, it was just, I barely even noticed it. And I thought that was interesting. Yeah, so cute little scene. Oh, the fight was really well animated. I thought the training was extremely well animated. The quality of the animation in the fights just in the last few chapters has gone up immensely. Yeah, I was thoroughly impressed with the animation in that fight. And the interaction between Taiyang and Yang as well, talking about her first haircut. That was a really cute, little moment. I'm curious about Yang's first haircut now. Yes, so that was a really cute scene. Not a whole lot to unpack, basically just, you know, Taiyang saying what everyone was thinking, and yeah. Oh, this was the first chapter as well that we saw all 4 girls. It was for the first time this volume. So the next scene was Weiss, and she's still stuck in her room. Yep, Hannah, good. She looks so grumpy on the plushie. She's so grumpy. Yeah, Cory. So this was a good little scene.
Now she's not.
Turn that frown upside down. So yeah, she's stuck in her room, and Whitley comes in and is being a little, you know, bastard. I love the fact that she slammed the door in his face with her semblance.
Amen.
I know, right? I was like, yes. Slam.
I feel like collectively the fandom was just like, yes.
And she brought up an interesting point, you know, she asked Whitley, do you hate me and Winter because you're jealous of what we can do? And it's pretty obvious that, yes, he is jealous to some degree.
Yeah. Because he says it's like, oh, it's so barbaric. People like me and Dad don't need to fight.
Yeah, it's beneath people like us. Like, beneath... What?
And it's like, no. Really? You don't want to have the ability to slam a door in Weiss's face from across the room?
From across the room,
yeah. To do that?
I know. And it's like, you know, he said, what did he say? I can't remember now. I lost my train of thought. Oh, he said,
Actually, it brings up a question that I'm wondering now. So, does not everyone have a semblance?
Everybody has one, but not everybody trains to use it, basically. It's something that people in the universe have to unlock. It's because it's part of their aura. So everyone has aura and everyone has a semblance, but not everybody learns how to use it. So Whitley, the Weiss semblance, the SheNoob semblance is hereditary, so Whitley would have that same semblance, but he's just never trained to be a warrior and has no use for it, basically. So he probably does feel inferior to his sisters in that respect. And Jacques doesn't have it because he married into the family, so he wouldn't have the SheNoob semblance. But his wife would.
I dislike him.
I really dislike him.
Maybe if there isn't something to Whitley's character where maybe he actually didn't obtain the SheNoob hereditary semblance. Maybe he didn't just get it at all.
Maybe.
And, that's why he says it's beneath me and Dad to fight, because,
they don't have it.
He's not like Nicholas and his mom in Winter and Weiss, because he doesn't have that semblance. He's different.
Possibly.
Maybe that's why he hates them.
And one other thing Whitley said was that what can one huntsman do that an army cannot? You went out to fall a beacon, bitch!
Yeah.
What Pyrrha was going to do was incredibly significant. One huntsman can be the difference between failure and victory. And he proves his ignorance by, saying stuff like that. Weiss obviously knows better than him in that respect.
Well, I think it shows how, single-minded he is, or how egomaniacal he is.
Yes.
Because he's like, what can one huntsman do that an army can't? It's like, well, what do you think an army of huntsmen could do?
Yeah, exactly. What were you going to say,
Hannah?
Hannah?
It's also kind of like that after her song, which I love that song, by the way. Where she sort of flips out, it's like, you all know nothing. It's like that, how true that is. And he's basically proving that more so true. It's like, you know nothing.
They're so ignorant because they just live in their own little world, these rich, privileged fuckers.
As one of those, I can absolutely say, yeah, we kind of do.
What was I going to say? So she slams the door in Whitley's face, and then she, Weiss seems to really have obtained her center, to do with her summoning. So as somebody who was really, really struggling to even summon anything before, all it takes now is for her to really focus, and she manages to summon the suit of armor that she fought in her trailer, which was a really cool moment when, she just, just sat there and just did it. And it was, not effortless, but it was, she had the confidence in herself that she was able to do it. Whereas before, she really didn't believe in her ability.
I'm proud of you.
She struggled with belief in her own abilities before, I think.
Yeah, and it was interesting a moment because, we all felt so proud of Weiss because it's like, oh my god, you did it. But at the same time, you think, but she still has so far to go with her summoning.
She does.
Because, she couldn't use that in a fight, as is.
No, it took way too long.
The chances... Yeah, it took way too long, and Whitley so much as speaking brought her out of it. Can you imagine, gunshots and movement and stuff around her? There would be no chance of her summoning that in a fight.
It requires significant focus, and she will get better at that through practice. It's only recently that she even learned that she could summon, or that she even really figured out how to do it. And she...
You finish, and then... Or you finish first.
I think that... so now she's really obtained a center. She has a mission. She knows what she has to do. What she has to do is get out of that house. And she knows that her summoning will help her do that. So she has a goal and something to really focus on. And I think that's helping her with her... she's zoning in on the this one thing, this one goal that she has to accomplish. So, sorry, it keeps warming up in here.
The other thing I was sort of saying is just like, also at the banquet when she summons the Bora, I think that's how you pronounce it, or
Borbatusk.
Borbatusk. I also noticed that, remember in like, I think episode 7 or 8 when she, in that episode where she has to spear one of those in like,
Volume 1, yeah. It was,
Volume 1.
Episode 9.
Like maybe it's a copy of that Boar.
No, episode 10, wasn't it?
Something like that.
10, yeah.
I think it may have been 10.
Because episode 8 was
like,
the Nevermore fight, and then 9 was after that, and then 10 was after that.
You're right,
that,
it was 10. Because,
it was 10.
That was the start of 10.
And then like, right afterwards, she yells at Ruby.
Yeah. 10, Volume 1. Yeah. So that's like, the Borbatusk is another significant opponent for her, because emotionally, she was in a bad headspace during that fight. And so she has an emotional association with the Borbatusk.
Yeah, I think the Borbatusk is her, like, angry kind of summon, sort of. Because she was, angry at Ruby then.
Yeah, it's definitely associated negatively, emotionally with her, yeah.
That makes sense. I didn't piece that together, but that makes sense.
Yeah, so she summons the suit of armor, and she blasts a big hole in the window, and Klein comes running in like, "Are you okay?" And she says, "I need a favor." So basically confirming what Cory and I talked about, that Klein and Ironwood would be her ticket out of her situation. So I think that what she's going to ask of Klein is like, go get Ironwood for me and tell him I need a pickup. Like, or something along those lines.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that.
I
didn't like Ironwood at first, but then after Volume 3, will admit, just like, I really liked him after that.
Yeah, Ironwood was one of those characters where Miles and Carrie actually said they didn't want us to like him or trust him at first, but then he evolved into a character that, okay, this guy's obviously a good guy, and he can be trusted. And I'm really liking him. Yeah,
but he can be trusted.
I'm really liking him this volume so far as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I love Klein's expression after she says, "I need a favor," and he's just like, "I mean business."
Yeah, he's just like, whatever you say. You need me to go kill Jacques and Whitley? Let's do it.
Let's do it, bitch. Yeah, exactly. I actually saw a funny meme on Twitter just now. I'll try and find it.
It was Arnold posted it.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I think so. It's in it. Yeah, here it is. I just saw this. Oh no, it wasn't Arnold. It was Nathan. It's funny. So yeah, really good little Weiss scene, and I was happy to see her again as well.
Yeah.
And then we had a short Blake and Sun scene, and I recall in my reaction when I saw her, I was like, she's being such a screen whore this volume. Like, she has had the most screen time next to Ranger. It's been Blake overload. God, it's freezing in here now. Sorry, I have to keep turning that on and off.
Yeah, because this was only our 3rd time seeing Yang, and this is like our 7th time seeing Blake.
I know, it's craziness. It was only a short scene though, and kind of exciting for us because it basically confirmed a lot of the things that we theorized last podcast about the mysterious spy. A, that she is a chameleon faunus, and B, that it is Sister Elia. Yeah, predicted that well, didn't we?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's kind of just a very short scene, but obviously his son got injured, which is something we probably all saw coming. I think he's going to be okay. I don't think this is the end for Sun. Like, that I don't think that was a hard enough hit to take him down.
No.
Yeah, because I was really worried at first, because I was like, oh my god, he got hit, but then I was like, wait, his aura never went down. So, like, why is he still like,
I think that what happened was, because he used his semblance, to clone himself so many times, he really pushed his semblance to the point that it broke his aura. So, yeah, and then that one hit was enough to, do the rest of the damage. Yeah, I also thought it was a bit of a weird way for his aura to go down. I thought it was very quick. But, I you know, different people have different levels of aura. Like, as Pyrrha explained in Volume 1, you know, Jean has a significant amount of aura. And I guess different people have different levels, and maybe Sun's isn't that high. So, yeah, he just pushed himself too hard. I'm loving Sun this volume, again, with the, like, blurting out what the audience is thinking, except he does it in the moment. He just says what I'm thinking. Like, when Blake stops to look at him, and he's like, "Stop staring and grab the scroll!" I'm like, yes! He always says what I'm thinking.
I thought it was really hypocritical of Blake to do that, because, like, all volume, Sun gets distracted during fights, and she's like, "Pay attention!
Pay attention!
And then,
like, what are you
the one
doing?
time Blake wants to be doing something,
yeah.
Sun's like, "Come on, bitch!"
I know, right?
I feel like I'll kind of admit, I don't like Sun as much this volume, because I feel like, or at least when he was sort of coming to helping his way, and I don't think Blake really gets it so much. Like, I kind of understand that, like, some people have been trying to help me, and they don't really explain how they're helping me, or sometimes even that they are helping me until it's too late, and it's annoying, and it's really, 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 really bad on Blake, and it's just like, it's bad, and gives us bad energy. Of course, Blake was kind of mad at Sun. But of course, seeing him injured is bad for Blake, and it'll hurt. Just like if I saw people hurt, it is just like, it would probably hurt me too. At the same time, doesn't matter whether I feel like we deserved it or not, personally, because even me watching from an outside, I wasn't really that upset when Sun got hurt because of all this. It's weird.
Yeah.
But it's just because I feel like there's a lack of communication between the two. Because I don't think they really know how to communicate anymore.
Yeah, I think Sun's idea of helping Blake is to just, you know, being there so she doesn't have to do it alone, but at the same time, like, she knows that
Wants to do it alone.
She wants to do it alone, but also she knows that if he's going to be around her, he is going to get hurt, and that's just what's just happened. Like, when he got hit, she ran over to him and said, "Not again," you know, in reference to Yang. Like, Yang got hurt because of her, and she probably really blames herself for that, and is probably secretly really hard on herself over it. So, yeah, this is gonna hurt for Blake. I'm worried about...
hope he survives.
Yeah, I think Sun's gonna be okay. I think there's something...
Yeah, I know, it is kind of a bad way for him to go if they're gonna kill him that way.
Yeah, like... no, it just didn't seem like a killing blow to me. Yeah, I think something much worse is waiting on the horizon for Blake.
Yeah.
In regards to her parents, I'm certain one or both of them is a goner by the next time we see her. I'm certain!
I know, personally, I want her parents to just like wipe the floor with Adam. I want that. I don't think it's gonna happen, but I want that really badly.
Honestly, I want that really badly too, but Adam, I think, is just too powerful. He's too formidable an opponent. Just with the fact that his semblance and weapon combination, like, honestly, just, you know, he's a scary dude. I wouldn't want to go up against him, that's for sure.
I dislike him.
Do you think Blake's parents are even trained in combat?
I'm sure Gira is. Gira would be, but I don't know about Carly.
So?
Yeah, I mean, Gira was the leader of the White Fang. He'd have to know. And, you know, where did Blake learn to fight if not from, like, her family or you know, her father was the leader of the White Fang, so...
But Adam was her mentor, so it's heavily implied Adam taught her to fight.
Yeah, I guess so, but, like, I feel like Gira would have some kind of, you know, at least know how to defend himself. But Carly, I doubt it, yeah. Yes.
Just like watch your surprise, turn around and just watch her just kick ass, and I feel like I would just laugh.
I would love that, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
If it did, I would laugh. Happily laugh.
I actually think that...
I would be giggling.
I actually think that Gira is going to be the one who's going to die. Just because, he had that tender moment with Blake, and as somebody who watches Game of Thrones, I know that tender moments always mean the character's gonna die. And B, I think a lot more people would be a lot angrier if they killed Carly than they will be if they kill Gira.
Yeah.
But maybe that's what they want. So, yeah, definitely one of Blake's parents.
Have a reaction to that.
I'm honestly, I'm convinced no one's going to die this volume. And maybe that's just me being naive.
I think you are living in La La Land thinking that.
We can wish for, we can't hope. We can wish, but we can know that we're probably not right. We're not going to be right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially after last volume.
So the final scene of the episode was Ranger. They're trying to get Crow to Mistral to get some help. Hi, Ruby. Yeah, so obviously things are not going so great for them right now. Crow is really in bad shape. And
if he actually goes, that would be appropriate. It's like, the second he goes, that's when I'm tweeting my reaction pic, and the punch pic.
I really think Crow isn't making it out of this volume alive. I really, like, the more I see of him, the more I'm like, oh, he's done for.
I kind of feel it too.
I'm not convinced.
Cory, you've got to let him go, okay? It'll hurt less.
He hasn't been here long enough.
I know, but, like, there's so many factors towards it. Like, Vic Mignogna, who voices him, you know, he's not going to be around forever, and, you know, I think the chances of them actually getting help for him are incredibly slim, especially because of what happened at the very end of the chapter. So now Team Ranger have split up. Ruby and Jean are taking Crow around through Kurayuri, which is a village that has been destroyed previously, and Ren obviously has some kind of attachment with that. I wanted to make a connection between Kurayuri and Oniyuri. So the last village we visited was Oniyuri, which Ren said his parents helped build because it was going to be like Mistral's Mountain Glen. So I'm wondering if he is originally from Kurayuri, and then residents of Kurayuri built Oniyuri.
I think one thing I kind of want to happen, but I don't think it will, is just like, you saw the symbol at the very, very end, and that was the symbol of like the bandits that Raven leads. Going back to her, I want her to like the bandits are there and like they see Raven. I want, like, in the back of my mind, I kind of want Raven to actually want her brothers to survive and try and help.
Yeah,
I think that would be a redeeming moment. I don't think it's gonna happen, but that would be a redeeming moment, and I would love that. And plus I like Raven because I really like her voice actress.
Yeah, I do agree with you on that. I think that if they bump into Raven and her bandit clan, and she sees that her brother is, you know, dying, she may help them. I think. I don't think that she's gonna just let her brother die. I think that she does. Obviously, she keeps in touch with Crow, and she does care to some degree about him. So, and he is her brother. Like, if she sees that he's dying and seriously needs help, I think that she will help him. It's gonna be interesting, though, because Raven is Yang's mother, let's not forget, and Ruby doesn't know that. So,
But she does. She knows Raven is Yang's mom.
Oh, she saw the photo, but she doesn't know who Raven is. She just knows what she looks like. So, whether Ruby will recognize her or not. I mean, she didn't recognize Cinder with a mask on. Come on.
She's probably not gonna, and you know that Raven's gonna have the mask on, so she's clearly not gonna recognize her. And if Crow is like able to speak enough, he'll probably be like, Raven, take off the mask or something. Hopefully.
Yeah, when we last saw him, he was hallucinating, so he's really not with it. Yeah, so, and also, Nora and Ren have followed the path to Mistral through the mountains to see if they can, you know, either find another way or get some help, or make it to Mistral. Something I wanted to...
I feel like Raven... I
Go
feel like
ahead.
Raven would help them just because I feel like she knows Crow has the relic, or at least knows where the relic is, because I doubt he has it on him now. but I feel like she would help him just so that way she could get her hands on that relic.
I also randomly am kind of thinking, I think Crow's cane may have had the relic.
Osmond's cane.
We talked about that earlier in the volume, how we think that is definitely the artifact.
Yeah, we do think that Osmond's cane is the relic of knowledge. If knowledge is the Veil one. So something I wanted to address about Nora and Ren is the fact that Jean hugged Ren before they left, which was really cute, A, and B, I noticed how tall Jean is. Like, he's a lot taller than Ren. And C, Ren's gonna die. I'm calling it now.
No.
Ren's a dead man.
No!
Ren's a dead man. I'm calling it right now. If I'm wrong, I'll be happy. But I don't think I'm wrong. I'm sorry!
Are they just slowly but surely gonna kill off Team Juniper?
No.
I think John's probably not gonna die.
I feel like they can't kill Nora. There would be riots if they killed Nora. Mind you, they killed Pyrrha,
I also
so...
feel like... I feel like they can't kill Ren off screen, though, is the thing.
No, they won't... I don't think they will kill
Ren
him
and Nora
off
are
screen.
going to have to come back. And if he's going to die, he's going to have to come back.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking about this. We kind of talked about this last time, and I hate to bring it up, but, you know, in Shane's letter, he said that there was supposed to be a fight between Juniper and Raven, and if Raven finds them and then Ren and Nora show up, they kind of set it up for the same fight.
Yeah.
And maybe that could be how.
But then there is
I'm wrong.
there is the element of Crow in there now as well, so yeah, it could go a lot of different ways. Really. Raven's a real wild card right now. There's no telling what she will do. So, yeah.
Please, Raven, please don't do bad.
I know.
You're already a bandit, please don't do bad.
Yeah. Raven, show us there's some good in you.
Yeah, if Raven kills Ren, she will be irredeemable to the
I don't
fandom.
think Raven's gonna kill Ren, but I do think he is gonna die.
I'm still just like, Raven, take the goodness and influence of your voice actors, please. Do it for me. Like, your voice actress already gave me this necklace, so of course, so it's just like, so she would.
Yeah.
If only that was possible.
Yeah, surprisingly, I think we've gone through the whole chapter already. That actually didn't take as long as I thought it would. But yeah, I've got several really bad feelings about different characters right now. I seriously think by the end of the volume, Gira, Crow, and Ren will all be gone. I'm calling that now. I really, really hope that I'm wrong about all three. But I don't think I am.
You are too.
I don't think I am somehow. Yeah, so I was thinking there would be a World of Remnant this weekend. I was surprised that there wasn't. But if there's not a World of Remnant this coming weekend, I will eat my own face, because that's how confident I am that there's gonna be a World of Remnant.
I am too.
Yeah,
if there was a World of Remnant this weekend, that would have then I would have been an episode later, but of course it didn't happen.
No.
This happened instead. And
Yeah.
Hello, I'm here.
I think there will be a World of Remnant this coming weekend, because we've had chapter 9 now, and then we'll have chapters 10, 11, and 12 consecutively after that. And they're showing chapter 12 at RTX Sydney on the 4th and 5th of February, probably on the 4th, and then it's going to go up on the 5th here, which is the 3rd and 4th on the other side of the world. So, yeah, I think there's definitely got to be a World of Remnant this weekend. If there isn't, I'm just gonna, what? Like, there's got to be.
Yeah, it has to be. Especially because, like, everything about this episode screams, like, there were kind of little cliffhangers everywhere.
Yes.
So it's just, like, it's like the best time to do a World of Remnant.
And the fact that we saw all 4 girls in this episode too, I feel like they're setting up for the final 3 chapters. Like, last volume, chapters 10, 11, and 12 were like one big finale because it was the fall of Beacon, and like the last 3 chapters had been building up to this big thing, and it was the last chunk of the volume. So now we're building up to the, you know, the last section of this volume. This is where all the crap is going to go down from here. So yeah. So there's 99% likely to be a World of Remnant this weekend. So Boopcast number 10 will not be up next week. It'll be up the week after. Yeah, I'm trying to work it out. I wanted to address the fact of my reaction videos as well. I have not uploaded, as of this point, 6, 8, or 9. 6 I'm having problems with because I was wearing headphones for that one, and the video stopped a couple times, so I'm having a lot of trouble editing that one. I'm trying to work it out, but once 6 goes up, I will edit and put out 8 and 9 pretty soon after that. So they will be here. Just, you know.
And you've addressed in the past that your 7 reaction
yes,
completely failed.
My chapter 7 reaction just didn't happen for various technical reasons. Failed footage, failed audio, the episode kept stopping, yada yada yada, no speakers, blah blah, all that sort of shit. Which sucks because it was a really good chapter. And I'm bummed that I don't have my live reaction to that chapter, but you know, nothing I can do about it, unfortunately. Yeah, so...
My reaction videos are also extremely behind. My sister's been home the last month, and I've just, like, a lot of my free time has gone to hanging out with her.
Yeah.
So, after she goes back to school, I will probably, like, over the course of, like, 2 days, just put up 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Yeah. Cory's sister Bailey goes to college in Kansas, so he doesn't see her very often, so... yeah, our reactions will be up when they're up. Just make sure to subscribe to the channel so that you know when they do go up.
I don't have reaction videos.
Have you thought about doing reaction videos?
I haven't really thought about it, mostly because A, I don't have video software on my computer, and B, I'm just like, most of my reaction videos are for the most part pretty straight faced.
Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah.
So you'd just be staring at this.
Yeah. It is.
As I think my face is, it's still not the most interesting thing to look at.
When I watch something that I'm not watching, that I'm not like recording a reaction for, I am very straight faced. When I watch like Game of Thrones, I just spend a lot of time focusing. It's been a really funny thing to do regular reaction videos, to like remember to verbalize my thoughts, because otherwise I just sit there going the whole time. Yeah, it's people don't realize that, you know, you do actually have to remember to say what you're thinking out loud, and to have, you know, physical, emotional reactions to what's happening. You wouldn't think you'd have to think about that, but I do, because I don't really do that but I've noticed that since I've started doing reaction videos, I just do it when I'm watching stuff. Like, I saw episode 2 of the new series of Sherlock yesterday, and I was so vocal. I was like, I need to just calm down. I'm not doing reaction videos to Sherlock before you ask. They're like an hour and a half long. Fuck that for a joke. Yeah. So, I think that pretty much covers everything.
There is one thing I wanted to see if you knew, Beck. Did you know that the voice of Ilya is also the voice of Asuna from Sword Art Online?
No way.
Yeah, way.
I love Sword Art Online. Oh my gosh, I'm a fangirl now. That's amazing. The English dub, that is, of Sword Art Online.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool! I'm getting all these awesome anime voice actors. Oh, that's awesome. I love Asuna so much. She's my favorite. Yeah, so, basically, I think we're gonna wrap this up, in a minute. Hannah, if you have any closing thoughts that you'd like to add?
I think I already said the thing where it's just like where Taeyang actually was able to teach me what my parents have been trying to teach me for months, and and that's why I actually got my mom to actually watch that, and she was just like, it took Bernie telling you how to do that to get you to actually listen. I'm just like, yeah, kinda.
Sometimes you do need to hear it from like somebody on the outside, even if it's not directly. To kind of sort of kick you into gear a bit. So, thank you, Hannah, so much for being on the podcast and chatting with us about this chapter.
Thank you for listening to me.
No worries, it's been great having you. We actually did have a couple-hour-long chat before last week to sort of talk to Hannah about, you know, what we were going to chat about on the podcast and that sort of thing. So, Hannah has a Twitter and a Tumblr, and the links to those will be in the description, and her Rooster Teeth account as well. That's what I was going to say. Hannah has been selected to be a Guardian for RTX Austin 2017. So if you're going to be at RTX Austin this year, and you see Hannah, go up and say hi, and be like, you know, I saw you on the Boopcast, because I'm sure she'd like that.
I won't be as much of a celebrity as I was last time, but you know what? I'm completely okay with that.
Yeah. Hannah also got the opportunity to go to RTX last year and go up on stage to sort of address the Rooster Teeth community and thank them for their support. The Rooster Teeth community has been wonderful to you. They, you know, when we all heard about the accident, I think we all, you know, felt like it had happened to friends of ours, you know, and the Rooster Teeth community is very much like a big family. We look after each other, and the entire community came together and donated money for your recovery, and just generally offered you love and support, and Hannah went on stage to thank them for that during the podcast. Was it the RT podcast?
Yep.
Yeah. I did actually see that the RT podcast at RTX 2016, and that was the first time I saw Hannah. I had heard about her story previously. I heard about it when when the accident happened, and I remember shedding a little tear and thinking how brave she was, and how you know, happy I was to see how well she was doing and recovering. And you wore a X-ray costume.
I was
no,
Vav.
Actually. You were Vav. That's right.
I made my dad dress up as X-ray.
Yeah, so that was I'll leave the link to that podcast in the description as well. So once again, thank you for being on here, Hannah, and thank you for, you know, inspiring others to, and reminding them that, you know, you can carry on even after horrible things can happen in your life, and that it's okay to feel the way that you do about it, I think is I think you probably don't realize the influence that you've had over a lot of people.
No, honestly, I just see myself as a normal girl who something happened to her, and now she can't, and now her memory sucks. That's no offense to anybody, but that's kind of how it feels.
Yeah.
And so I have to learn how to live with it.
As you did say to us before,
when tragedy happens to all of us, it's like we'll all move on at our own paces.
Yeah.
But we all do have to come to terms with the truth, and we have to live with our lives post tragedy.
As you did say to us before, you are an incredibly privileged individual. That, you know, you have this community, and the company, you know, did such wonderful things for you after this horrible thing happened, and
they are my soul.
Yeah, Rooster Teeth is such a beautiful company, and I think you are a very privileged individual for the things that you've gotten to do. Which sounds a bit weird to say that, but those are your own words, and you are. I think you know how lucky you are, and
I'm very blessed to have the privileges I have, and I'm very thankful for it every day.
Yeah. And we're very thankful to have you on the podcast and that you are still here and that you can, come on here and talk about, your story and what's happened. And hopefully give others the courage to do the same. And, it's a good thing to be reminded that you're not alone when, there are other people who have experienced similar tragedies, and that, to have such a huge loving community supporting you and backing you is a pretty special thing. So, thank you for being on the podcast, Hannah.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
No worries at all. To wrap up, make sure you go to everybody's social medias in the description and subscribe to Cory's channel so you see his reactions when they come out. Like I said, World of Remnant this weekend, probably, definitely. So we'll see you in a couple weeks' time. I'll try and get the reactions out in between now and then, and a couple other videos as well, because I've been neglecting other videos. I have no time for other videos. And also, if you'd like to check out a link in the description to the channel's Patreon page, and if you're feeling generous, please give a little bit every month to help support the continuation of the podcast and things like live streams and that in the future. And there are rewards associated with that on the page, so if you think some of those look pretty cool, then you can grab the rewards at the associated tier. We would appreciate your support. Thank you everybody for watching, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks for episode 10. Bye!
Bye-bye.
Bye.